Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday workshop in the Women's Impact Network. I am Janet Clark. I am the founder of this group, WIN, and I'm here with Tiffany Whitney, who is one of our members. And today we're going to introduce you to somebody really amazing, Robert Sacco. So we are here today to talk about RUbI. Now, RUbI is an AI system that you are going to be able to use to totally re-engineer and light up your marketing. And Robert is going to explain to you what it's all about and why it works so well. But what I want you to understand is why we have chosen to partner with Robert and with RUbI here in WIN. So as all of you know, we are all about the life of freedom, creating that life of time, financial, and lifestyle freedom, being able to work wherever you want, do with the thing that is the calling on your heart. And I know that every one of you has your own mission that you want to get fulfilled in the world, your calling. And at the same time, we all need ways to fund our mission. And we all need to have multiple streams of income coming in. And that's really what we stand for here at WIN. So, as a member here, you are introduced to a few of our partners. We don't have a lot of them. We are very, very particular about who we partner with and why, because we have very strong values. Our values are faith, family, and freedom. And so you're going to hear a little bit more about how that all comes together with RUbI today. So I'm not going to continue to talk about all of that. You can access more information about our partners just by reaching out to me, reaching out to Tiffany, or whoever invited you here into the WIN group. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce you now to Robert Sacco. Hey, Robert.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing great, Robert. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, I'm excited about being here and getting to share a little bit of our vision.
Tiffany and I have been involved with RUbI for a while. The exciting thing is that you've just put a really big update out there. So I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so that was just on the 7.7, we released our version 2, which is about 100 times more powerful than version 1. So lots of new stuff coming in, and we're super excited about the part of the AI industry that we've carved out, and are excited to be taking it out to market for sure.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my background has always been an entrepreneur. So serial entrepreneurship is always a part of me, but from the advertising agency background since 1995. So run 3 or 4 different ad agencies. But when I got into the technology in 2018, I started a software development company. And we were using AI at that point where we could go out and help look at code and help write code. And what we realized is that this is incredible stuff that we can do. It helped speed up processes, clean up the way that we were moving products to market. But on top of that, in 2023, we saw it break through to where everybody in the world could start to get it, with ChatGPT being able to break through and the ability to now make it to where everybody could do it. That really opened us up to creating RUbI for really 2 main reasons. One, I believe AI levels the playing field. So for entrepreneurs like myself, who's bootstrapped just about everything to kind of get it up off the ground and get going, because that's just the way that entrepreneurs usually do it. This was a huge leveling field for everybody if they can use AI, because people can have companies that can afford the big content creation teams of 10 people or whatever. Most entrepreneurs can't. And so they have a hard time competing to get their message out there. But with AI, you can do it so quick, and you can get the trends and the latest and the greatest places to do it. You don't have to be a super marketing genius to figure that out, and you don't have to be a technical person to figure it out. And so we wanted to get that to the market. The second thing is I really felt like the way that AI was being brought to the market was very fragmented. And if you really wanted to use AI, you would have 5 to 10 different subscriptions, and nothing was really working well together. And from my ad side, it's like breaks all creative workflow, and you just don't get great content. And so we wanted to solve those two issues, and that's why we created RUbI, and I think we've done that with version 2 for sure.
With the subscriptions, I know we've talked about this before, and I know everybody that I work with knows that I had a number of different subscriptions and used them all and went through training and all kinds of stuff. And when I got my hands on RUbI, it was just a real game changer for me. And
Right.
you can definitely tell that you come from advertising, like with the micro services that you've created, like Personify. That to me, where you can actually identify your audience and speak to them.
Yeah, so what we did when we came in with the idea of RUbI is obviously creating those modules, so you didn't have to be a prompt engineer to get really good content. And it's one of the biggest problems that people had initially coming out was that I don't even know how to talk to this thing. And if you don't talk to it right, you get an hallucination or something that sounds really, really good, but it's not true. And so you had to really kind of understand how to do that. So we've eliminated that with over 150 different professionally written prompts for everything from getting meal plans to personal workouts that are tailored to you, all the way to your business, like as an entrepreneur. And even to the point where we use it in our home as a 24/7 tutor for the kids. If you're a homeschooler, this is a dream. Like, it gives you anything and everything you could possibly want. But more than that, it's just a way that kids can use it to get better. And at the end of the day, they better learn it, because this is the future of how things are going. It's not a cheat tool. It is a tool of responsible AI. I mean, you want to get down into the advertising, that's where it all starts. They don't really understand that it starts with the persona. It's like, who's that target audience? And if you don't have a lot of marketing experience or maybe a marketing background or degree, then you haven't really been taught exactly how to do that. And it's not as easy as just, oh, okay, I'm going to hit women 25 to 54. Okay. That's the old school way of doing it, and just shooting a big shotgun and hope you hit somebody. But today it's like all about metrics, and there's no reason to take a guess. You can actually find it. And so to do that, you just create great personas. That Personify can do that by just typing in a little bit about you, your product or your service. Maybe you like your competitor, you can put in their URL, and now you can create content that just sounds like it came from the same people who wrote their stuff. I really like the way I can go and get it from a social media influencer, or I can put in their handle. If they're nailing that target audience that I want, why do I want to go out and recreate the wheel? They're obviously doing something right to get millions of people to follow them. So you can just put in their handle and we'll create that persona, so that now you're speaking to that audience just like they are. And if that's the right audience for you, you're going to be able to take the content that you create and make it worthwhile. And that's so important as an entrepreneur. And I've done this for 30 years, where I go out and I get excited about something. I start creating all this content. I'd be creating the marketing and I do it the way that we'd want to, but it wouldn't be effective because I wouldn't have started with the actual persona. And so in the ad agency world, we did one thing. We started with, who are we talking to? How are we talking to them? And what are their pain points and their motivations? And every time that we create a piece of content, it has to answer a challenge or a pain point, or it has to spark the motivation. And I have to do it in the way that they need to hear it for them to engage. And Personify does that with a single button. And that's what we're excited about.
Wow. Just go back a little bit. RUbI, RUBI, what does that stand for?
Yeah, so RUbI stands for Relational Understanding Based Interaction, which means that the more that you use RUbI, the more that she gets to know you, and the more that you are able to mold her into doing all your different personas. She can actually speak to all the people that you need to get to interact.
So the great thing about creating these personas isn't just that you do it out of your own head and say, oh yeah, this is the woman or the person that I want to target, but you're also able to tap into statistics and various other messaging that works for that target market. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
so
saying?
yeah, so the way that Personify works is, like, again, you don't have to have any marketing experience at all. You just need to know a little bit about your product or service, or maybe an influencer that is like the perfect place for your audience. And so what you do is you just tell Personify is going to break it down into demographics, the psychographics. The psychographics really, really make a big difference. And then it's going to give you some voices and tones that you can choose from, so that you can hit them where it's going to engage them. And again, you don't have to know how to do that. All you got to do is just put in a little bit about your product, service, or your brand, or maybe it's you, like maybe you're marketing yourself. Just tell them a little bit about you and the goal that you're trying to accomplish. And, RUbI will go out and create the persona for you. And then anytime that you create content, you just select that persona and it automatically writes to that pain point and motivation.
That's amazing. So it starts with this personify, and you can have more than one target market,
Yeah,
and
I
you
mean,
can actually change the messaging.
exactly. If you have let me just take a nutritional product, for instance. So you have a nutritional product, and you want to talk to people about that, but nutritional products go against such a broad range of people and the reason why they take it. The benefits are all the same, but maybe the reason why they take it is different. And that's really important to hit those motivation points, right? So just say I have a greens product and I love this greens product and I'm marketing it to sell, then I'm going to make sure that I'm targeting the 18 to 24, maybe athletes a little bit different than I am my 45 plus that are looking more for a better longevity of life and just feeling better and more energy compared to what it's really going to be doing for my athletes at 18 to 24. So I have two very distinct markets. I have to talk to them different. I have
Right.
to market the imagery different, or I'm not going to reach one of them. And so this is why Personify is so great, is that it can break up each of these different areas for you, and you don't have to worry about trying to go spend hours trying to create content. The one thing AI does, and I think it's a mindset that's been wrong in this industry. People who don't really understand it think that it's going to replace them. And the real logic is, if you really embrace the idea, is that it's going to expand out your market because you can do more. Whether you're maybe social media, you're only doing 2 channels because that's all that you can handle. Well, now you can open it up to 5. That opens up a lot more market for you to reach. Why? Because I can do the marketing so much faster. And it's trends based. It's the latest, greatest thing that's out there. It's the algorithms. We tell you exactly what time to post that you're going to get the most effectiveness. There's a lot of things that people just don't understand how to do this, and you still don't have to understand it. You just have to do what RUbI tells you to do, and you'll see the results.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And now you mentioned images and graphics. Does that come through RUbI? Recommendations, actual
Yeah.
graphics? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, it's just all about how you want to use RUbI, but, I'm just going to speak to entrepreneurs right now. So marketing is just one aspect, but insights of your business. I mean, are you able to see where there's trends going up and down? If you're not a CPA, are you really looking at it? Are you noticing things? You can take your P&L and balance sheet and your graphs and you can upload those into our IntelliChat. It just by images, it can read all that for you, and you can ask it, how's my financial position? And it's going to tell me a complete financial analysis. So there's lots of ways you can use this. But for the marketing, it's just a no-brainer. I can go in and create a whole week worth of social media posts for as many different platforms as I want. It's going to tell me the exact time I'm going to do it. It's going to give me the way that I should go and create a visual for that, whether it be a video, whether it be an image. I can go then right into our virtual studio and create those. So we have the 4 largest AI image engines built right in. And I, as an entrepreneur and an ad agency, guys, I have spent, I don't know how many months of my life looking for the right royalty-free picture that I could use, right? And we've gone through millions of these things. And then you end up settling because you don't find the right one anyway. Well, you don't ever have to worry about that again. You can go into our virtual studio, go to the image lab, and just through text, describe what you want, and then it's going to create that for you. And now you have an image that's specifically what you want to need to go get that point across. And then it's the same thing with video. We have our voice lab where you can go and create any kind of voiceover that you want. I have spent just times and times in my video production company paying people to come in to do voiceovers. With the voice lab, you can literally go choose from 1,000 different voices from all different dialects, all different languages around the world. Choose the voice that you like. And if you don't like that, you want to use your own, you can clone your own voice and use that. And you can go and create any kind of voiceovers for your videos in seconds. You put it in, and you can also turn that into 29 different languages. So now you can open up your business to a multilingual business very quickly Think about all the different ways that you can go into social media, into the groups, and expand and bring your product to market in all these different languages now. That's super big in going to an international market. And the last two pieces, I'll get into my favorite in a minute, but Video Lab is there now. Video Lab, again, allows you to do text to video or image to video. So if you have an image that you would love to put a little move on, or something that would be adding it to a video, you can do that by uploading a video or an image, and it will, tell it to do a slow pan around the subject or whatever. It'll keep it moving. But you'll also be able to create little short clips just by telling it what you want. It's like a prompt for an image. And then the favorite part of Virtual Studio for me is RUbI Music, royalty-free music beds that you can use in your videos. You don't have to worry about infringement rights on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, all those places where infringements come in. The instrumentals are all built off of music theory. They're not using copyrighted material to train the AI, which is super important. And then we also have a vocals. You can create jingles or songs. And I always say that the one thing that's amazed me most about RUbI Music, it does open up a new way for us to communicate, for us, 99% that had never been able to do a song or thinking, but I might have a great poem, or I might want to really relay something. And music just does it in a different way. The last one I saw the other day was they had written a song for their marriage 28 years ago, and she hadn't heard it since then. And now she was able to go get those same lyrics and make a new song with those same lyrics and put it out. And it was just incredible, the emotion that it was creating. But it's like you can do all this stuff with the click of a button. You don't need any craziness to do it. It's just a new world of communication.
This is great. So, like, for example, if you wanted to create some sort of a YouTube video, say, for example, what your subject is, you type in some notes, RUbI will actually create the whole script for what's supposed to be there. We'll even put your voice in it if you don't want to record it yourself, and we'll put the music and the B-roll or whatever else goes in there,
Right.
and you're done, and you just upload it.
Yeah. So on July 28th, we'll release our Canvas Plus, which is our audio video editor and our document editor, so that anything that you're creating as far as assets go, you can literally put them together again, super easy. You don't have to be an award-winning editor to do this. It's just about dragging clips into a timeline and having it render it out, and now you're ready to go. And it also comes with a one post clicking. So connect your TikTok, connect your Facebook or Instagram, and it can post
I was
right
going to
from
ask you about that, like because you were saying at what time, but you can actually schedule it within
Yeah,
RUbI and it will post
exactly.
it to your account.
Exactly. So, the biggest issues with entrepreneurs is time. And so to be able to sit down in one day and make a whole month worth of multimedia ready to go into it, schedule it, and walk away from it, that gives you the rest of the month to go focus on making money and following the leads that those are generating. And this is why it's there, because it frustrated me. And so here's the pain point. I go to ChatGPT and I go and create my script. I'm not sure that script is full of real truth. So then I have to go to Claude and I run it on Claude to see if it's actually getting the same result. If it's not getting the same result, then I run to Google Gemini and I run it over there. So now I have 3 different subscriptions that I'm running to get to those. Now I've got my final content. Now what do? I have to go to 11 labs to cut my audio. So that's, anywhere from $30 to $100 a month for that subscription. I cut my audio off all that, and then I have to go and create the B-roll. So I can spend hours and hours and hours of going through royalty-free stuff like on Unsplash, or I can go to Midjourney and I can create my images, or I can go to Luma and I can create my little video clips. But then I still have to go and find an editor. So I have to go into Premiere, bring all those pieces, download them all, put them all into the Premiere, then go in and edit it, and then export it out. And then I have to go and find my YouTube channel or whatever else, and then I have to upload that and then make my descriptions. And it breaks your creative workflow because you're having to start, and stop. Here in RUbI, everything is just seamlessly working together, and it's all in the same system. You're never having these breaks. And with Canvas Plus, you'll never leave that screen to do any of it.
You could literally just change it every month
Yeah, or day or
and
hour,
use the
whatever.
same content over and over again, but
And
only with
instead,
a
yeah,
different
instead of having to
flair.
rebuild it all, just change that one little piece that you want and send it back out.
So for our audience here, marketing takes on this humongous responsibility and time and money and effort that can really get people off of their game of what they really want to do. And so
Right.
then they start to say, what am I really doing? Am I just becoming a marketer and running a business, or am I actually serving and fulfilling my own mission?
Right. There's all the pain points that
Yeah.
we're having to address, right? So the pain point of I don't have the experience, I don't really know what I'm doing, and so I spend all this time trying to learn it. And I'm sorry, you can't just pick up a book in an hour, figure it out. It's something that you learn over 30 years, unless you have a tool that already knows it. So for that person who's not savvy in marketing and maybe not technically savvy, if you can do click boxes, like check boxes and drop down menus and type a sentence about you or your product or service, you're good. You can do this and have incredible content that will work. Okay. For the technically savvy people, you can go in, you can do it all in one place, and it saves you so much time. So this is where you save that, and you can spend that time doing things that you really want to do that are big.
So, Tiffany, what haven't I asked him that you want him to talk about?
Well, I loved it. He's talked about how we can use RUbI in our marketing, in our business, in our personal lives, with our families. So he's covered a lot of what RUbI can do. There's two other things that I thought our group would be really interested in. And one of them is, did we know that RUbI could be a business? And then the other is, Robert, I want you to talk about the t-shirt and the hat that you have on.
I
Okay.
can't wait to talk about that. That is my
Okay.
passion. All right, so let's talk about the business, because we literally made a choice to take this through a network marketing platform for really two reasons. One, it was able to break down the AI stigma that is still out there today, that it's going to replace somebody's job, or that it's evil, or that they just don't know anything about it. They think it's so complicated, they'll never learn it. But when somebody that can post something online, or that they can say, hey, I use this, you should try it, it breaks down that wall. So that's the first one. And the second one is that I believe that any tool that you're bringing to market should have great training around it. And man, what a better platform to do that in than in a network marketing, where you have people who are willing to go train, because the better you are at learning to use this tool, the better you're going to be at retaining the use of the tool. And it just makes business sense to teach and train it. Now, when we made that choice, we also opened up the opportunity for millions of people all over the world to actually attach a business to the fastest growing technology that's ever hit this planet without having to know how to code, without having to know anything about AI. You can go out and just share this through a simple referral link, and you can earn money. And it's just literally that simple. You don't have to know a lot about it. I'll tell you the other thing I think is so incredible is that, yes, RUbI is a business as itself, but RUbI also builds every business that you have. It also builds your personal life. I mean, I use it more in our daily communications, whether it be my HOA that I'm writing letters to, or if we are doing stuff with my fourth grader that's learning new math, because I don't know new math, so I'm having to learn new math, and man, RUbI's great at teaching that. Or if it's going out and my wife uses it to do our meal planning and the shopping list, where to go get it all, the budget. Number one, we have an international playing field. Anywhere that we do business, you can do business anywhere, as long as it's not a no-fat country. So that means that we're not going to North Korea, we can't do Somalia, little countries that you just wouldn't do business in. You can go anywhere else in the world and share this. There's no borders for you. The second thing is that everybody can use it. This isn't a pigeonholed thing, like only people who are into gut health are going to buy my product, or is this going to be something that only 18 to 24-year-olds are going to use? Our very first subscription was from an 80-year-old man. Like, that's the crazy part. And I'll tell you, with RUbI Music right now, we're seeing people create music, put them up on Spotify. They're creating their own business models, creating NFTs. They're just broadening out all the different opportunities that are there. RUbI just opens the doors for so many things. And so if you're looking for a business that has no limitations, It's just about how you want to take it to your market. You're going to have a great business. And it's just really not very many different business models that have those limitless capabilities.
Well, this is why this falls so in alignment with what we're doing at Win, because we say we are creating our own economy. We do not want to send our money off into the system where we're supporting other billionaires and making billionaires richer. We are here to support ourselves and each other and to do business together, which is why the minute I heard that this model was in alignment with the same model that we're using for other things, it made sense to me. I also love that it's international. And that we can be able to, we have a lot of women in here who are looking for ways to better their families' lives and get themselves to a position where they are financially free. And here it is. And it's something, like you said, everybody can use, even if they're not building a business and don't need it for marketing. They can share it with the homeschool community. They can share it with the health people who are looking for different meal plans or different solutions to health problems or exercise plans or whatever. I mean, it's almost limitless in that respect of who it can serve.
Absolutely. So I do want to get to Selfless because that
Yeah.
is my passion. You can see it on my hat, you can see it on my shirt. And one of my big things since 2012 was that any business I was a part of or was going to start was going to be around a social entrepreneurship model, meaning that I don't believe that you can solve the world's biggest problems by giving. I believe that the only way that you can solve the world's biggest problems is by consuming, because it's the one thing that will never cease to exist. And so every business that I've been in since 2012 has either been changing into a social entrepreneurship platform, meaning that giving is part of the model. It's part of the financials from the very get-go, that this is a certain amount of sales is going in to feed something that's going to be sustainable. In 2018, I went down to Dallas and we met with a group called Unlikely Heroes, and they were they rescue people from the sex trafficking and human trafficking, and they had just brought in 3 young kids that had been rescued, and it made me mad. There's just some things in the world that you can never unsee, you can never unfeel, and the way that made me feel, and the way that I can never get the images out of my mind. It just that was the place for me. Like, we were going to do something. The sad part is that most charities spend 80% of their time raising money instead of doing the fight. And so that was my commitment. I'm going to find a way that I can find sustainable giving to you, create a community. The community has to win. So they have to have benefits to be in the community, not just because they're helping their passion, but a lot of them will come in just because they want to help. And they don't necessarily have the passion to be in it every single day, but they do care. And they want to be a place where they can do something good. So the community here is by just buying products and services and being part of companies, you're going to win because you're going to get great deals, but you're also going to be taking and helping that by consuming. And so you don't change your life. We actually better your life over in the community, but you're also being a part of significance at that point. And then the third part is the charities, and to be able to have those charities, number one, vetted to make sure that the money's going in the right place, because every dollar is important. And so we vet them out. I think we started with 80, we're down to 7 that were vetted out. And then that we attack that in all the areas that it needs to be attacked. You can't just go in and support one charity that is great at maybe doing restoration, because that doesn't get people off the streets and it doesn't get them rescued. I can't do just the person who's going to go in and rescue the kids and arrest the traffickers, because there's more traffickers right behind them. So it's a 5P front is what we call it, where we're talking about protection at the very beginning. And then we also talk about the prevention, which is a lot of education. We do have the prosecution. Of course, we want to arrest them and get them off the street. And then we have our rehabilitation. And then the one that is probably the most difficult is the profit annihilation, where we have to deal with the government to really make sure that these businesses are shut down so that they can be arrested. So we found charities that fit into these 5Ps, and every month as to where that money goes. And we make those charities fight for it. They come in, they talk about what they're doing and what benefits they've had with the funds that have been given. You vote, and then that's where the money goes.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of what we talk about all the time, right? Is where's your money going? Take control of what you are purchasing and know what that company that you are buying from supports, because that's your money supporting whatever it is. So in this case, we love this because we know that RUbI is supporting the end of sex trafficking. And that
Yeah.
is a big problem. And every family has encountered it in some way, shape, or form. They know someone. We all do. This is amazing.
Yeah. And that's my passion.
So if people wanted to contribute or they wanted their business to get involved in this, but they didn't want to go have to vet these companies like you do, could they just have a percentage of their money go to Selfless? Is that how that would work?
Yeah, so 10% automatically goes anyway.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a mindset change. It's a motivator that's different. And I will just tell you, in 2018, my life changed in that. One of our big things in my business, which is RUbI and Flex, is that we all become part of this, living a life of significance, not just living a life. And to do that, rescuing these kids and helping them, and you can do that just by buying.
I love this idea of being able to combine making your livelihood with this serving at the same time, right? Having this way that you are talking about being able to can do it through, what was the word that you said?
Consuming. And the greatest thing is that when you're doing it as a business, everyone's passion then is driven to build their business, because their business has to be successful to give, right? So you don't
Yeah.
see broke philanthropists. There's a reason why. And so we want everyone's business to be successful. And we want the community to be successful, because the more they're successful, the more everybody can consume and push the agenda forward.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Robert. I mean, I know we could sit here and talk for another hour, but you've got a time constraint, and Tiffany is going to wrap things up for us here. And I am just so thrilled to be a part of this. And I know that this is going to take off huge in this WIN community here.
Thanks for having me, Tiffany and Janet. It's a pleasure to do it, and I'm excited to be partners with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are too, Robert. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I cannot really thank Janet for introducing us to RUbI, and for Robert taking time to really talk to us about what RUbI's all about. I just want to recap real quick. We covered how RUbI fits into WIN, and I see our group as us always joining hands and us all rising together. This is another tool that helps us with that reoccurring income stream that we've been talking about. Robert talked to us about how it can help our businesses, how it can help us in our personal lives. He talked about the marketing aspect, images, video, music, what people are doing with RUbI to actually create a brand new business, but also participate as an affiliate marketer or a distributor. I've been doing that at the minute Janet introduced me to it, because I've been fascinated with AI for so long. The cool part is that Robert talked to us about, by participating in RUbI, how we're also helping stop human trafficking. I really hope all of you are as excited about RUbI as I am, and as you can see, Janet is. And I'm going to drop a link below this video where you can actually join RUbI. This link will allow you to join it as a distributor. And I'm also going to drop another link for a demo too. And that way you can see RUbI in action. And again, everybody, thank you for joining us today on Workshop Wednesday. I know Amy Michaels and I are going to be working to bring you training and support around RUbI as we go forward. Thank you so much for joining. And please, any comments or questions you have, please drop them in the comments below. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.